everybody, has Jay-Z actually finally lost his mind? Here I am again, can't get a day off to save my life, obviously dressed like this because of some classes I'm taking, but we're at the park right now, don't worry. In my last video, some of y'all were like, please tell me you're not doing a video inside of a temple. Y'all don't know that I know how to act and have decorum and respect? Please, of course I would never do a video inside of a temple unless it was absolutely approved. No, that was not a temple. No, it was not a temple. Appreciate your concern. I was trying to take this week off, but Jay-Z / and or Beyonce are out here acting a fool, absolute fool. Last video I just came out yesterday. Janice Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, you know, the mother. People are making statements they should not be making. Nobody asked my opinion, but it's the land of the free, last I checked. So my opinion is, if I'm giving these people PR advice, they need to stop making statements. Meek Mill included. Just stop. Just everybody stop. Stop making statements. If you're asking me my advice, which you didn't, but it's gonna help you. Jay-Z, what has gotten into the man? Ooh, we're doing another video, just the same thing of me basically saying, y'all shouldn't have said this statement. Y'all shouldn't even did this. Okay, let me not get ahead of myself. What am I talking about? Well, Jaguar Wright, who's been blowing the whistle about Diddy and all these people for years, she went on Piers Morgan's, I thought he was on Real TV. Apparently he's on YouTube, there's a YouTube channel he has. And he's out here acting like he's Mr. Journalism man boy of the world. I mean, it's very strange to me. Very strange to me. But anyway, so Jaguar Wright gets invited onto Piers Morgan. And while she's on there, she's talking about, you know, the usual. We've heard it all before on the blue couch or whatever. But when she's on there and she says, I am speaking from my own first-hand experience and my own, you know, stuff that I personally experienced and witnessed.
This is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience.
So she said some stuff in there, okay? I will tell y'all right now, I ain't speaking from my firsthand experience. To my knowledge, I've never been in a room with any of these people unless they shapeshifted into somebody who looks like somebody I know, okay? Never been in a room with Jay-Z or a Beyonce or Aaliyah. None of these people. Never went to a show, never went to a concert, to my knowledge. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we were at a Saints game one time or something. I don't know. But I wasn't there, okay? Just huge disclaimer, capital letters, disclaimer. I don't know if anything that Jaguar Wright has ever said is true or false, but what I will say is she went on the Piers Morgan show. I'll insert the clip here of exactly what she did say with the caveat that it has now been a subject of a lawsuit, so I'm not saying this is true.
I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah, so that, she says that on Piers Morgan about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Her words, not mine. And if you notice, though, not to be one of these nitpicky word people, but y'all know I like the meaning of words. I like to actually listen to the actual words people are saying. And Jaguar Wright did not say Beyonce and or Jay-Z put Aaliyah on a plane. No, she did not. She did say that Jay-Z and Beyonce put somebody on a plane. And then she said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing here, but, you know, something along the lines of much like Aaliyah was put on a plane.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane.
So she didn't actually say that Jay-Z and Beyonce killed Aaliyah. That's not what she said. But she did kind of say they put people on planes. And she also said some other stuff about bodies and suitcases and alleyway. I mean, girl, she said a lot of stuff. She said, but anyway, so even during this interview, Piers Morgan, who I have criticisms about, to be honest, like he's not my favorite person on YouTube. He actually blocked me years ago on Twitter. Even Piers Morgan is kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know, they're not here to defend themselves. Maybe, you know, hint, hint, talk about something else.
Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. Piers.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously.
And it seemed like he kept trying to sort of lead Jaguar Wright away from certain topics, and she just kept saying what she wanted to say. So it did seem kind of like he had finally asked a question about Kim Porter, and Jaguar Wright, again, like doesn't like fully answer the actual question, and she used it as opportunity, in my opinion, to get her licks in. And, you know, if it's true, the stuff that Jaguar Wright is saying, or if she believes it's true, I support her right to go on there and say it. Now, as soon as that interview airs, they have what's that man's name? Vladimir from Vlad TV come on and pretty much disparage and undermine every single thing that Jaguar Wright said. And
I do care. Thank you very much. Well, I'm joined now by the host of Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad, pretty
Let me watch a
horrifying
little bit of what he got to say.
These testimonies. What did you make of what you just heard?
Well, Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show.
You don't believe her?
She's got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying that there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done, but yeah, I can't co-sign anything that Jaguar Wright is saying, if that's your question.
And even that, I'm not personally a huge fan of him at all. That being said, same way Jaguar Wright got to say what she wanted to say, I think he should have been able to say what he wanted to say. And in fact, what I think it turned out being like, it was she said all her stuff, and then as soon as he came on, he's like, nope, she's not credible. I wouldn't even have her on my show. Don't have any plans to have her on my show. Never had her on my show. She's a known conspiracy theorist. Nothing that she says is credible. In my opinion, as a viewer, if you just watched that episode, and then after that, a lawyer came on. And then a lawyer was also, in some ways, undermining what Jaguar Wright was saying as well. But she also undermined what Vladimir was saying. This was the lawyer who's representing Don Richard and some other people, right? She's the one who came out and was like, well, there was someone more famous than Diddy that wanted to do a catch and kill on a tape. And I didn't personally feel right. I didn't want to get involved in that. So instead of getting involved, I put the person in touch with someone who wanted to be involved, so she did get involved. All that to say, that lawyer, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, she comes on after Vladimir, and she even kind of undermines Jaguar Wright. She also undermines Vladimir. She says, this guy, he has no problem taking some people's words for things and putting them on his platform whenever it's going to be used for a federal indictment or a state indictment. Hint, hint, Keefe D, hint, hint. Because some stuff that Keefe D, the person who's now going on trial for allegedly unaliving Tupac, Keefe D went on Vlad, he went on some other places, and that interview footage was used to indict him in criminal charges. So this lawyer kind of talks about that too. But the lawyer says Jaguar Wright needs to lawyer up. She needs to be vetting these statements through a lawyer because I am concerned that she may be saying some things that are exposing her to liability. Girl, not 3 days goes by, and Piers Morgan has been contacted by Jay-Z and Beyonce to take down that stuff. Let me read this article. Again, y'all, I'm over here trying to learn the ancient wisdom, the secrets of the rishis and all of that. I'm over here having to keep up with this because these people do not know how to act. And I have some theories as to why Jay-Z's acting like this, but let me just tell y'all what this article says. So Piers Morgan has apologized after platforming totally false claims about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Had they proven to be false?
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you actually click on this article at the time of the recording of this video, let me show y'all. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can zoom in on it or not, but at the time of the I'll take a screenshot. The time of the recording of this video, the title that you actually click on in the browser says Piers Morgan apologizes after guests fall. It doesn't say quotes. It just says as if it's a fact. Piers Morgan apologizes after guests false Jay-Z and Beyonce claims. And that just, good question. It makes me wonder, okay, was the author of this article on the plane? Every plane that Jay-Z and Beyonce have ever had anything to do with, anything? There's no way they could know if it's false. But then whenever you click the actual article, they do have totally false in quotes, which I do believe that should have been the title in the crawler as well, but I digress. Piers Morgan has apologized after platforming totally false, and that part's in quotes, claims about Jay-Z and Beyonce on his YouTube channel. Morgan interviewed Jaguar Wright about Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs' arrest on his uncensored show last week. During the exchange, Jaguar called Diddy and Jay-Z, quote, monsters.
And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a South Africa, and in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all.
So
you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
And alleged that Jay-Z and Beyonce have hundreds of victims. Actually, I think this is incorrect. I think she might have said thousands. She might have said thousands. I'll play the clip.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands.
During an uncensored episode on Tuesday, Piers Morgan opened the show by revealing that he had received a legal letter from Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean, when's the last time Beyonce made any type of statement? I mean, when's the last time the woman did an interview other than getting her hair washed in the salon for her new hair thing? In the letter, the couple refuted the allegations by Jaguar Wright, the former CNN anchor, that's Piers, which is also where Chloe Malos used to work. So we know these people like to work hard for the people running Hollywood. He apologized and he said Jaguar Wright's interview was edited to remove her claims. So he left the interview up, but he did edit the interview to remove the parts about Jay-Z and Beyonce pursuant to the cease and desist that he got. He said, quote, Jaguar unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during the interview. As I said in the moment, and he did say it in the moment, he said in the moment, they're not here to defend themselves. Let's talk about something else. I think, despite the fact I'm not a fan of him, that was pretty decent because the blue couch don't stop people. I don't stop people. When I'm interviewing people, if somebody wants to come tell me something, I'll let them say it. And then I'm gonna say, well, this isn't me saying it, it's this person saying it. Because I don't know. I can't know if something's true or false if I wasn't there. If someone's sitting in my podcast telling me I was there, this is my firsthand experience, I'm letting them say it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But he took that out. I don't think I would have took it out. I would have maybe took it out from that interview, but I certainly would have reposted it with a big disclaimer or something. There's no way I'm taking out something that somebody's claiming as a firsthand experience. Absolutely not. I think it was a little bit chicken shit, but this is, I don't know, I have theories we'll get to. Okay. Their lawyers contacted us, Piers goes on to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. And Piers says, we've therefore complied with a legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored, but like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theater, there are legal limits on us too.
Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with a legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored, but like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
And we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm just wondering, because something like this has happened to me before. Actually, literally exactly the same verbiage. I think it's interesting that it's exactly the same verbiage. Where I was saying stuff online, namely, I'll just give you this as an analogy, that Lou Taylor, who is P. Diddy's business manager, and at the time, I wasn't looking at P. Diddy, I was looking at Britney Spears. Britney Spears, importantly, business manager, I was making statements about her. The statements were, she founded an investment company, owned half of it, was officer of it, employee of it, registered investment advisor of it, all that on the books, public record from the government. And at least for 5 years while she was all of that, she had Britney Spears in a conservatorship and was taking the Britney Spears money she was responsible for investing and putting it in her own firm, Stonebridge Investment Counsel. Okay. I started telling people that. Seems like a little bit of a conflict of interest to me. And about a year goes by of me doing that, maybe more, and I start working as a lawyer. When I started working as a lawyer, I wanted to keep making my videos. I asked my law firm, can I make these videos? They said, yep, no problem. I said, I'm worried about this lady, Lou Taylor. They said, don't even worry about it. When you get invited to go on a documentary, send us the link. Okay, great. Blessing. 3 months goes by, and I'm getting a call from that same person that gave me permission. And he's telling me, could you maybe remove all those videos where you mentioned Lou Taylor, P. Diddy's business manager, her references to Stonebridge especially? No, I cannot. You gave me permission to do that. And when we were in the exchanges of going back and forth for that, you know what he told me that he was told? Lou Taylor and her lawyers told my law firm the claims have no basis in fact. Can you call her up? Me. They're talking about me. Can you call BJ up and ask her what's her basis for making those claims? I said, hell yeah, my basis is the brokercheck.com by FINRA, the SEC, and the IADP report, which is all public record and all is provided by the government, which I'm allowed to rely on, and conservatorship records. That's my basis. And the guy tells me, well, we're told. I'm telling y'all this story because I'm telling y'all how this works, because I have firsthand knowledge and experience I happen to have on this particular matter. And it's Lou Taylor, right? I mean, Probably these people are all a little bit operating the same way. It's Diddy's business manager. She had no basis for why I was lying. I had the proof, the evidence. So now it leads me to wonder, did they provide Piers Morgan evidence or did he even ask for any? Because when somebody's coming to me and saying, stop saying something on YouTube because it's false, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say nothing false. And I told him that. I said, can you give me some evidence what I'm saying is false? He said, no. I said, okay. Well, I said, what evidence did you see? Show me the evidence you saw, or at least just tell me the evidence you saw. He said, I didn't see any evidence. So with no evidence at all, people who are scared to rock the boat will take and retract things. I'm just curious, like, was these lawyers that sent the letter, were they on the boat? They were on every boat? How do you prove that it's not true? Because now they're saying everything that Jaguar Wright said was false, which I wasn't there. Maybe everything she's ever said is false, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So he apologized to them, which I wouldn't, please, I would not have done. What I would have said is, I will read your statement. I will allow you to come on. What I find weird, there's a squirrel fight. They are acting up. But here he is out here saying he's sorry. For what? I'm not sorry. Anyway, he goes on, quote, the thing about platforms, the reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. Amen, Jesus. Glad for that. That's why we invited Jaguar on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. I think that's a legal lawyer preemptive strike. Like, this stuff was out there regardless if Piers Morgan put it out there. Now, what I would argue if I'm representing Beyonce and Jay-Z is, yes, but these people are blue couch and, sit in front of glitter piñatas. They're not holding themselves out to be news anchors like Piers Morgan is. Not that they need any help defending themselves. Now, I did want to also briefly touch on the fact that Meek Mill, who's tangentially related to the story at best, and maybe even vitally related to the story, he's made a statement as well. This article is from Tribune.com. Meek Mill reacts to Jay-Z and Beyonce's cease and desist to Piers Morgan. Quote, going on a silent war? What? Because remember, Meek Mill is the same one that offered $100,000 to somebody who could figure out why his name keeps getting thrown into this. And like, give me my $100,000 right now, Meek, because it's you on the Rhymes and Dimes magazine cover. It's you saying, ooh, daddy in the pool, cooling off, something, something.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Something. I mean, that's why. This article says, during that Piers Morgan interview, as y'all probably, saw, Jaguar referred to the couple as a, quote, nasty little couple and compared Jay-Z to disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. Meek Mill reposted, retweeted someone's thing about that. I don't know. I mean, he probably should have used some type of punctuation because it made it ambiguous. I don't really exactly know what he means. It could be taken 2 or 3 ways. But I think he's trying to say, F is going on, a silent war. Like, I think he's trying to say, like, what is going on? A silent war. Or I don't know. I mean, I'll put it up here. Y'all tell me. The original post was captioned, Beyonce and Jay-Z's lawyers got Piers Morgan to issue an apology and retraction on his uncensored show after he allowed a, quote, deranged woman to come on and spew falsehoods about them. So that was the original post. And consider the source. It is from a Beyonce and Jay-Z fan Twitter account. So they're allowed to call Jaguar Wright a deranged woman if they want to. But Jaguar Wright has been in the industry for like 30 years. Like, it's not really like she's like someone they just like plucked off the street. She knows a lot more about it than I do, and any average person who hasn't been in this industry. Meek Mill also made another post on the platform questioning why Jaguar Wright was invited to appear on such a widely watched show like Piers Morgan's. Quote, this Meek Mill saying this, quote, Jaguar Wright is like, I don't know who this is, Quilly speaking for Philly. Why do these people have more of a voice than the thoroughbred people? What does that mean? Thoroughbred people? Does he mean Chloe Mayloss? Who's the thoroughbred? I mean, surely he's not making some type of race-based genetics type argument about like certain types of people with certain types of genetics and racial makeups should be taken more serious. Certainly that's not what he meant. That's not what he means, right? I don't know, girl. I don't know. I don't know what this thoroughbred is about. Maybe he meant like news sources, but to be very fair, news sources have never covered Jay-Z and Beyonce and their relation to Aaliyah, whether they had one or not. I mean, have y'all seen that? I've never seen the news talking about that. So I don't know what he means thoroughbred. Maybe y'all can help me out in the comments down below. I really hope it's not some type of incendiary race-based octagon, you know, type of situation. Yeah, so this one kind of wraps up the article in the same way where it says Piers Morgan had said that he was, you know, not expecting. It was unexpected commentary coming from Jaguar Wright. And it was obvious to me that Piers did seem to be trying to keep her within certain topics and away from certain topics and away from meander. It seemed to me like he really did try way harder and way more like a traditional media person than like anybody else I've seen Jaguar Wright. I've seen people just let her say anything. They don't ever try to steer her this way or that way in my experience of watching. Now, the question becomes, why on earth would Jay-Z and Beyonce take this particular route? Why would they do that? Well, I guess the first possible explanation is maybe they think it's going to work. They think it's going to scare other people from re-airing the footage. They think it's going to scare other people from repeating the allegation. But we're in 2024 and I feel like our gaslit era is over. Like YouTubers are just like wiping their behinds with the NDAs and the cease and desists today. YouTubers are printing them out and taping them on the wall as props and decoration. YouTubers are not as scared of lawsuits as they once were. Another explanation to why Jay-Z and Beyonce might have been doing this is that they had thought that, you know, they just wanted to make a showing maybe to the government. Look, we didn't do this and we're willing to sue people saying it. And we're not going to mess with these YouTubers because who cares about them? But this is real news because it's Piers Morgan. Maybe they realized that Piers Morgan doesn't have a spine. And he would retract it, and he would apologize. Maybe it was a setup to set Jaguar Wright up, because, I mean, 2 people right after her discredited her. So, I mean, I really don't know. What I can tell you for absolutely sure is that if Jay-Z's intention and Beyonce's intention, which in my mind, Beyonce's like locked in a basement or something, like, I won't be particularly surprised to find out that Beyonce is like some type of mastermind and has been doing the FOs and stuff, but I also will not be in any way surprised to find out that she has very little autonomy or control over her life and hasn't for a very long time. Like, I don't really know how much control Beyonce actually has over these like press statements and stuff, but maybe it's a lot. Maybe she's the mastermind. I'm actually looking forward to finding out. Hopefully it comes out. I mean, I was learning in my class today that a dying man, you know, these are like ancient fables and like legends and, you know, lore. It's not really supposed to be thought of as fact. It's more like story time, like Grimm's, you know, like fairy tale. It's kind of like fairy tales, sort of. Now, to be respectful and fair, there's a group of people who do believe that these stories are real and they really happen, but a large majority of people do not. So in this story, someone's dying or whatever, and he starts acting a fool because he knows that he's got a curse on him and he's gonna die anyway. And I feel like that might be what's going on with Jay-Z. He knows his ship is sinking. So just on the way down, he's acting crazy. Also, Jay-Z and Jaguar Wright seem to have a history of entanglements. I'm also open to the fact Jaguar Wright's telling the truth. And Jay-Z and Beyonce don't want the truth to come out. I don't know. I was not there. Jay-Z and Beyonce, as we've discussed here, have said it's not true. That what Jaguar Wright said is not true. And I'm still allowed to say my opinion on stuff. My opinion is, I don't know. Did Jay-Z and Beyonce put Aaliyah on a plane? I don't think so. Did they put someone else on a plane? I wasn't there. Jaguar Wright seems to be implying, or explicitly actually stating, that they did. And it just does bring up one last sort of larger question. Is that appropriate for Piers Morgan to do? Completely delete from history something that the public did have access to, and now we don't? He couldn't re-upload it with a thing over it saying Jay-Z and Beyonce have disputed this. I think it's like, if he wants to be a journalist and he wants to act like a journalist, I'm not a journalist. I'm a girl on the internet talking, you know, my downloads from the mothership. Okay, this ain't journalism. All right. I know some of y'all are like, oh my God, this is real journalism. No, I'm not a journalist. Nope. But I do have freedom of the press and I do have freedom to say what I think. And I think, like, as a member of the audience of Piers Morgan, I kind of find it to be alarming, disturbing, and unsettling that he could so easily, spinelessly, cowardly remove something with, frankly, probably no evidence. How do you have negative evidence? How do you have evidence something never happened? You don't. And this is why, frankly, people do rather go to YouTubers. People would rather go to a little commentary channel to try and see maybe what's going on with something, because if you can't trust that you're going to get the full allegation and the full story from a more traditional source like former CNN anchor Piers Morgan, the empire's crumbling. And I see why. That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, and neither is showing y'all what Jaguar said. That's her words, not me. Beyonce and Jay-Z deny all allegations, and we're going to definitely have to see how it shakes out. Love you, Mina K. Bye.
Welcome into my world. You're playing my game. Thought that you could come up and fitting off of my knee. Talking out the side of your neck like you're insane. Cortisol levels to the roof. Inflame. Kids these days so shameless. Selling out real friends for a paycheck. Mama didn't teach them no home training. Wanna be me so bad, but they failing. Step to the plate though. I'll take a challenger. I ain't scared of no low life scavenger. I should warn you though, if you haven't heard, I ain't no Colleen, ukulele ballanger. Shots been fired. Run and tell that. Say it to my face though. Now behind my back. Won't be long till you share it in a group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept the name out your mouth. Fast though, how it all